Now, for all of you ladies that have told me, oh, George is such a handsome guy, and has such a great head of hair, I want to tell you where he gets his hair cut. Lamar's Barbershop on Courthouse Road. If you want a good hairdo, go down there. Mayor, come on up and give it to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. Thank you. This is the community center that Billy was talking about. We'll talk about that a little bit more. It's about ready to be open. We hope to be in it by the first of the year. And that's the one that went through the fire, but it's been expanded well beyond what we originally had. So you're going to have a nice facility. This is the work being done right now on Dido Road on a retention pond inlet right in front of the beams that have gone up on the community center here on Dido Road. It'll be the largest community center we have in the city. And we expect to have that sometime next summer to be finished for your use. Here's an architect's review of it. You see these signs around, and they're inconvenient because you have to go around. But why are they inconvenient? Well, we're trying to give you what you asked for, and some of the work you'll see right around the corner from where we are. One of the things that came out real strong in the campaign that all of us got was do something about Dido Road. It needs to be widened from Three Rivers all the way over to the new interstate. Well, we have been going through, and R. Flowers has been the main leader of this, we've been going through a lot of public information sessions to tell the public out in this neighborhood, excuse me, what's going on with Dido Road, to get their input. We will have a public hearing probably be around the 1st of January, as soon as we get the environmental impact study, so that you can give your comments to actual facts based on that study. But in the meantime, we've had several of those public sessions to try to explain what's coming, and we're getting a lot of input from you, and we expect to get a lot of input. And sometimes y'all don't agree. We understand sometimes you don't agree. When a road has to go down, sometimes you say, well, why don't you take my neighbor's property instead of mine? We know that happens, but it's part of progress and part of the process, and we're going through that process. Road paving up here. South Swan Road, Duckworth Road, Three Rivers Road, Creosote Road just finished. I just got off of it. And the other three will be finished very soon. Highway 49. This one is particularly important to me, and I'll tell you why. One of my best and oldest friends is a fellow named Roy Newman. Newman Lumber Company, y'all all know, was down in Newton. I go by and I see Roy. He's in a wheelchair. But not just in a wheelchair that he can roll around. He's in a wheelchair with a seat belt around him, because if it didn't have the seat belt, he'd fall out of the chair. He's been in that chair for 8 years. He got hit out in front of the post office in one of those suicide lanes. It pains me to see Roy, and that's one I know well. Also, pains me to know that we're naming the new police center after Patrolman Curry, who's not in a wheelchair. We've got to do something about the suicide lanes, because it's hurting our people. It impairs traffic safety. We have arrangements right now with MDOT to go from Turkey Creek to Dido Road to eliminate suicide lanes. And the reason for that is safety and traffic flow. We're going to get an additional benefit, and then we'll have some green space in between that we can plant plants in, and trees and so forth, and make it look nicer. But it's not for the looks, it's for the safety, so that we won't have more Currys and Newmans. It'll be inconvenient while we're building, but it's going to be nice when we get finished, and a whole lot of completed projects from Gulfport Public Works. Internal projects. Phase 1 of Three Rivers Road, the sewage system has been installed from I-10 to Dido. Creosote Road drainage, that's finished, and we finished it several days ahead of time. That's not just drainage for Creosote Road, that's drainage for Turkey Creek, so that the water can get out of Turkey Creek and get into the bayou. Tara Hills Bridge, Klein Road Sewer, Lauren D. Heist drainage, South Wilson drainage project, making repairs to a serious storm erosion project area. Tracy Drive drainage products, we replaced 108 feet of piping in there. The Janelle, Dr. Drive drainage project, 300 feet of bad drainage O'Neill Road, 1,576 feet of new 12-inch pipe. Woodlands Drive, 1,260 feet, 8-inch pipe. All of this to get water and sewer and drainage flowing better. Let's talk to the issue that Billy mentioned about the name of the center on 49 and the name of the center on Vito Road. Aaron's got a great suggestion, and the council will handle that. But let me tell you, there's some real strong dissension about it. I've got a long petition in the bank from the folks in Lyman that say that building is in Lyman and ought to be named Lyman. I've got some folks from Orange Grove that say, nope, it started out as Orange Grove, it ought to be Orange Grove Lyman. About half of the time that I spend as mayor is spent on things that are pretty emotional with folks. I'm not saying they're not important, but they're based on a lot of emotion. And quite frankly, while I will spend some time on it, the name of the center is not the highest priority I have. That $113 million debt we've got, the wastewater, is more important than what we call the center. My job is to get them open and get you in there using them. Not so much the sign out front, although I know that's important. But we'll handle that in the normal course of events, and we'll have your input. And we know that you'll have pride. I come from Hansborough. I still say I come from Hansborough. Got annexed a long time ago. It's always going to be Hansborough. Hansborough was here before Gulfport was. Lyman was here before Gulfport was. We understand that. We understand that. What I'm saying to you is this. Let's keep an eye on the most important aspects of our job. Sure, we're going to deal with the other things, but they're not the most important. They happen to be important, but not the most important. And I hope we don't spend too much of our energy on the things that aren't major of importance. Like I said, getting the building built and getting it open and getting children in there and getting activities in there, that's a whole lot more important to me than what the sign says. But we will deal with the sign. And that's a promise. And we will listen to your comments.
I'm not from this area, normally speaking. In fact, I live right outside the city limits of Gulfport, so I have no political axis to grind here. I do.
How far outside the city do you live?
I'll probably be in it, less than half a mile. I'm right off of Orange Grove Road. I would say if I had a native town other than New Orleans where I was born, it would be Long Beach, because I spent 50 years of my life in one house in Long Beach until this little lady, Katrina, decided I wasn't supposed to live there anymore, and she took the house away from me. But you made a point about the names of buildings, and the point you made that I really appreciate, that the name is not important, the end result is. It's like shooting at a target. The aim is the bullseye. Just hitting the target is not what you want. You want that bullseye. And naming it the bullseye doesn't make it any better or worse. And I just use that as an analogy, and I think the city's doing a great job. I wish I were a member of it.
Thank you. You may. The name is important, but I'm saying to you, if you don't have anything to name, that's more important. That's right. So we're trying to get something built that you can name, and we'll go through the process of naming it. And some will be happy and some won't be.
Always.
But everybody will be happy to be inside of it. That's the important thing. And we'll go through that process, and Kara has a great suggestion, and we'll deal with it. We'll deal with it, and we'll hear every one of you that want to express.
How's the city doing on crime, and what are the plans going forward?
How's the city doing on crime, and what are the plans going forward? Well, obviously, when we asked the police department to cut back 10%, you'd say, how many policemen did you have to let go? No sworn policemen. We didn't cut anybody in police cars. We cut administrative staff, we cut secretarial, and that's why we could use more volunteers right now. But we didn't take anybody off the cars in the neighborhood. Crime in Gulfport is down significantly. Only in the last 90 days have we had a little rash not far from here in burglary, but it's still down 1% over the previous year. But we've, just in the last couple of weeks, we've had some really severe problems with burglary up here, and the chief's working on it hard. But overall, crime is down in Gulfport. The chief and his staff have been doing a phenomenal job. We've got as good a police department as anybody can ask for, and they're working hard to make it better every day. Thanks for asking. Anything else? Y'all are